Today's warm-up is all about reflection. So it says draw the line of reflection and write the equation. So what is a line of reflection? How do I draw it? How far do they go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how far is my line of reflection going to be? 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw a line right in the middle. Wow, that was a pretty bad line. I'm going to redraw it highlighted. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. There we go. And where is this line crossing at? It is crossing the x-axis where? At 1. So my equation of this line is x equals 1. Yes?
Does it matter if you do what point on the triangle? Because I did the bottom point.
Should not matter. As long as when you're connecting this bottom point, you're connecting it to the one that's exactly like it. Does not matter. It will be the same thing. Did you get the same answer as me? Yeah, perfect. You could even do this one way over here. Now, I wouldn't recommend that, but you could. Okay. Next, it says, reflect the image over the x-axis. Everybody, please, I know y'all don't have a highlighter. Circle your x-axis, kind of, so y'all know. So which way am I going to be reflecting when I count this? Down. So I'm just going to count each one of these, A, B, C, and D, down to find A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. So how far down does A go? 4. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you count, then you need to label A prime. A lot of y'all are forgetting to label. B is also 1, 2, 3, 4. So what am I going to do down? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bless you. Bless you again. How many down does C go?
1.
Just 1 down. And my highlighter is really big, so it's a little bit hard to see that that was just 1. Make sure you put C prime. And last but not least, D goes 2. So D prime is right there. And then I'm going to connect, if you need to use your badge to draw straight lines. Like, don't draw lines like I'm drawing right now. If I had a pencil, I would be doing that better. And we have now flipped this over the x-axis. On your test, which is a week from today, so next Thursday, bless you, on your test, I don't think I'm going to have you do all 4 of them. It'll be more like, hey, here's a picture, reflect B over the x-axis. Just because we don't have time for you to do all 4, because I don't want you to take too long on the test. So it'll be like, I'll just ask you to choose one of them to flip over. Okay?
Question.
Yeah.
If we choose to do it, will we get extra credit?
Probably not. The only reason I say that is I believe, and don't quote me, but I believe this question is multiple choice. So it'll be like, which one of these flipped over? Does that make sense? So it wouldn't be an opportunity to do that. Yes.
Will it matter on the test if we put the prime? Like
Yes.
will you the best one?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, what?
He asked, does it matter about the primes? Like if you were to forget to put a prime right there, would I count points off? Yeah, that would be 1 point off.
I know that.
Yeah. And I'll remind you of that. And we're going to be doing this for the next week, so you'll get better at it.
Okay.
All right, if you can please put that warm up in your back pocket, and I would like you to get out today's notes that you picked up when you walked in. Fold it like a book. All right. So today we're going to be talking about compositions of transformation. Now, compositions means that you have a series of transformations. You have multiple transformations going on at one time. So, can you both reflect and rotate a figure? Sure. Can you dilate a figure and then translate it? Yes, you can do more than one transformation at a time. Now, in geometry L and K, they do some wild things. In L, we are going to stick to just something called a glide reflection. which is what we're talking about right here. So a glide reflection is, first you're going to have a glide. What does glide look like? Slide. And which transformation is sliding? A translation. It is a translation. And what does reflection mean? It means reflection. And a reflection. And a mirror. So you are going to slide and mirror, or mirror and slide. Down here, it tells you it does not matter which one you do first. It doesn't. You can reflect then slide, or you can slide then reflect. In here, I am almost always going to, what am I going to do? I think we reflect first. Hold on. Yeah. Can y'all all circle or box this first one? I like to do a reflection first, then glide. Because if they don't go the same way, it's really hard to figure out where they're going. So I'm always reflecting first just because I want to make my shapes go the same direction, and then I'll move it. Okay? So we are going to do a couple examples, then you have a practice sheet, and then we're done today. We're doing 4 examples to be exact. All right, so let's talk about what happens first here. Ooh, no, that's fine. It says, write the description of the composition of transformations representing this graph. How do I know which one is my first, which one's my old, which one's my new, and which one's my newest?
Your old is E8K, your new is I don't know about that.
What's that? What are these lines called?
Primes. You have to look at the primes. So your old one, everybody, if y'all can, write old, make sure you can see that. Your old one is always the one with no primes. Mr. Bay, if you can please put that up. Yeah, whatever you're writing on, put that away. All right. Your old one is the one that has no primes at all. Your new one is the one, I'll call it your first new one or your second. I don't know. Do y'all want to do like first, second, third, or y'all want to do old, new, newest? First, second, third. Okay, so my old is going to be the first one. Then which is going to be the second one I do?
The one with one.
The one with one little prime. Do you see how these have only one little apostrophe? That's going to be the second image. And which is going to be the last image or the third image? The double prime. Do you see how it has 2 little tick marks? That's going to be my third one. So this goes up here, then. So do you see how this reflects? Then it moves. We are always going to do the reflection first. And then we're going to do the translation. However, I want you to go a little bit deeper. If y'all can close your computers, you do not need them right now, please. How is this reflecting? Is this reflecting over the X or Y axis? So it's actually not reflecting over the X, because do you see how far this one is from the X? Does it go that far down? No. So where is it reflecting over? Everybody, draw this line. Do you agree if I draw that line? That's where the mirror image is at. Where is that line at? It is my Y is 2. This does not that line does not touch the x-axis, so it's not x equals. So my reflection is over the line Y equals 2. I don't think we're going to give you a ton like this, because this is a pretty difficult problem. That's why we're doing it in the notes together. So this reflection right here, if you would figure it out too, you could count from K to K. How far apart are they, and go to the middle, just like we've been doing. Okay? And that's at 2. So it's Y equals 2. Now that's my first to second. We figured that one out. How does this glide? How does this translate? What direction does it go from the second to third? It's going to go left something, and then it's going to go down something. Figure out. To me personally, I would do D to D because it's just open right there. D prime to D. We call that double prime. D prime to D double prime. How is it moving? How many left?
Yeah, that's
Okay, left 5 and then down 3. It's going left 5, down 3. You just figure out how does it go from this point to this point. You could have done K's, you could have done A's, you could have done this bottom point. It's a little messy in there, so I just kept it up top. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Yeah.
It's a little weird. Again, to me, especially that reflection, that made this problem pretty hard. We're not going to do too many that difficult. Okay? Let's do the next one together as well. Example 2. Which one's my first, my second, and my third?
BA's your old.
On the left side,
My old over here on the left is BA. How do we know that?
because there's no prime.
There's no primes. Then what does it do?
It goes to the right.
It
Or, I
goes,
mean, it's correct.
yeah. That's going to be my second one. And then the double primes is my third one. So that's how I know it's moving. It's going, reflecting, and then sliding. What is this one reflecting over here?
The Y.
Do y'all see how these two A's are directly in the middle? Do y'all see how they're both one away?
Yeah.
So it is, the first thing that it does is it is reflecting. It's a reflection over the y-axis. That is the first thing it does. Again, this is more like what you're going to see on your worksheet, and it's more like what you're going to see on your test. I think you'll have one, maybe 2 questions about this.
So how come you don't put like Y equals 1?
You could, we only do that if it would be x equals 0, and because it goes through the x-axis. We only do that if,
Oh, I know.
no, it's okay, if it's not x or y-axis.
But it's reflected over the Y.
Right, and that's okay. Like if it's reflecting over the x or y-axis, you can just write that. This one isn't reflecting, it's reflecting over the line above the x-axis, which is y equals 2. So that's why we wrote the equation, because we couldn't write x or y-axis. Yeah. Again, this is the rarity. This is what you're going to be doing most. All right, what is it doing from the second to the third?
Sliding down.
Sliding down. Is it going left or right at all?
No.
No. So this is going to be a translation down. Only. It's not sliding left or right. How many is it sliding down? So this is a translation down 3. And that's how you answer this. Okay. We can create a rule for this. Remember, for rules, they always start off x, y with an arrow. On yesterday's notes, what did we learn about reflecting on the y-axis?
The X
Only the x changes. What does the x do?
flips.
It flips. So my x is going to become negative. Because it reflects over the y-axis, y stays the same, x is negative. What about moving down 3? What does that affect, your x or your y?
The Y.
What is my y going to do? Down 3 is, this is our rule for this problem. Whenever you reflect the y-axis, it makes a negative x. Whenever you go down 3, it makes your y go minus 3. So that's my rule. I believe on your test next week, one of them you're going to have to just describe what's happening. Another one you're going to have to come up with the rule. So we're going to practice doing both now. I want you to see, you don't have to do the rule yet. On number 3, I want you to see if you can come up with the description for me. You're going to write it all in one line this time. Okay, look at number 3. See if you on your own can come up with the description. Label first, second, and third. What is it reflecting over? And then how is it gliding? How is it translating?
Do I just put like the axis? I don't put a number. Like the first one. Is that okay?
Yes, sorry.
I don't put like y equals 2 or x equals 2. I just put y or x.
Just put y-axis or x-axis. Yep. That y equals 2 is only for that first one. So you're just going to write reflection y-axis or reflection x-axis, depending on what it's flipping over. A lot of people are doing that. Okay. So first things first, did y'all label first, second, and third? Like that. All right, and you didn't have to label inside like I did. If you did off to the side, that's fine. And then I always like to do kind of like the arrows right here because it helps me see. Do you agree this is reflecting over what axis is this? This is the x-axis. So the first thing it does is reflection. And if you wrote reflect, that's fine. X-axis. Good job. A lot of you, most of y'all that I walked around got that right. Now, be careful on this one. What does it do next?
It goes to the right.
It translates or slides. Translation. What direction? Right. Here's where you need to be careful. I had a lot of you go, it's translating 1, 2, 3. Why is that wrong?
Because it's C to A.
Do you see how this is C and this is A? You need to go C to C. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It translates right 5. Be careful with that. Now, a rule always starts with what? X and Y with an arrow. Y'all, you can get partial credit if you can just get that part of the rule right. Always get that part of the rule right. If it reflects over the x-axis, what is that going to change? Reflecting over the x-axis makes my y negative.
Okay, so if it was the y-axis,
It makes the x negative, correct. And what if it's translating right 5? The direction of right changes what? No. If I'm going right 5, that's changing my x. How? Plus 5. So this is going to be x plus 5 negative y is my translation. All right, last one for our notes. What do we got here? What's my first?
the right side.
The right side. My second.
The bottom one.
And then my third is the top one. Write this down, please. Did everybody get the rule, or did I go too fast on that last one?
No.
We're good? All right, what am I reflecting over from first to second here?
The y-axis.
Reflection over, it is the y-axis right here because they're the same distance on both. So it's a reflection over the y-axis. A reflection over the y-axis is going to do what to my rule? The x will be negative. And then what happens from the second to the third? I'm going to do these p's right here.
Is that a translation?
It is a translation what? It's translating up. How many to get from p prime to p double prime? 4. Translating up 4 will do what to my... Because it's going up, what change? Yeah, it's y plus 4. And by the way, these could be the same letter, and that would be fine. Like, they could both affect x. And you could still do the rule. I think you have one in your practice like that. I'll help you out with that. So what is my rule going to be? What happens to my x? What happens to my y? And that's your answer. Do I have any questions at all? I need to go over that one question, and yes, you're gonna have a ton of time. Y'all have like 20 minutes left. You are done? I'm so sorry. Okay, we are adding this to page 37 in your table of contents. Can you please add 37, and it's titled Compositions. Are you finished now? Everybody good? All right, we're gonna do 37 compositions. I'll bring y'all glue in just a second. Everybody, remember, every single person in here should be gluing in every day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know yet, because not everybody's finished. Let me see. I'm gonna have y'all finish. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna have y'all finish today. I haven't graded it yet. Yeah, I think I am gonna grade that one. Yes.
So for are teachers still allowed to pull students out?
Meaning what?
From DFC?
Yes, I think so if the AP approves it. Okay, if you can keep your notebooks open just so they can help you with your notes. I am really quickly going to do only one problem with you because we did not do one where it had 2 translations with a rule, so I want to make sure we do that today. Real quick. Do I smell or something? Why are you all so far away from me?
What? We're normally this far.
But not this heavy.
Okay, but there's also 3 desks.
There are. I have 32 kids in my 6th period now. So, yeah. So, I had to add in some desks, and that's not going to change. All right, I'm just going to do one problem with you real quick, only because, again, this problem right here has the first problem. All of them do, but we didn't do anything like that. So I want to make sure you see what it looks like in the rule. For this first problem, what's my first? The pre-image, that's my first. What's my second? And the darker one is my third. Actually, I think the darker one on all of them is the third.
Both of them?
On all of them.
No, on the one that was the darkest
Yeah, that's your like final image. All right, what is happening from my first to my second? So reflect y-axis. It's reflecting over this y-axis. If you need a highlighter, I'll put them at the back. If you need a highlighter, you can always grab one. From there, does everybody agree that's a reflection over the y-axis? I did that fast. How do we get from, you can do C to C, A to A, or B to B. It's up to you. I'm going to do A to A just because there's room over here. What's happening from my second to my third? It's a translation. What direction am I moving? Okay, and I like to do left first because I like to put X first, but that's right. I'm going left and I'm going up. Do y'all agree from here to here is left and up? How many do I go left? How many do I go up? You got 4? It shouldn't matter which direction you go first. A to A. You have to go A to A.
Accidentally went one above A.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you went to where the top of A was. Go to the top of the triangle. Reflecting over the x-axis does what?
The x is
Negative x. Going left. What does going left do? X minus 3. What does going up do? What plus 3? Y plus 3. Do you see, we didn't have this on our notes. Do you see how I have 2 things happening with my x? So for this one, the rule is going to be x, y, arrow. Remember, we should always get that part right. Negative x minus 3, comma, y plus 3. So this x has both things happening to it. We didn't do that. So just be aware you will have sometimes 2 things happening. All of our notes only had 1 thing. All right, I think I want you to do these 3 and turn it in, and I'll just take this one for a grade, and we won't worry about yesterday's. All right, so let's do that. Let's take this one for a grade. So finish this. You can work together. And that's all for today.